Hi, everyone, and welcome to my very first live YouTube video. So, of course, I've done video on Facebook Live, but this is the first time I've tried it out here on YouTube. So, welcome to all of you. I put this picture over here because my intention for today, I set the intention this morning that I would do my first live video. And I want to talk to all of you guys about my life, about channeling, about the Beyond the Portal tour that I'm beginning here in Syracuse, New York on September 21st and 22nd. I want to tell you stories on a regular basis about what it's like to live in communication with the divine, and to normalize this process. But just before I was going on to talk with all of you and to say hello for my first live video, I got a text message wishing me love on the feast day of Mary Magdalene. And if you have been following me over the years, if you've read my book, Enchanted One, The Portal to Love, you know that my very first channel was with Mary Magdalene, and that my book is a combination of the goddess Isis, Mary Magdalene, and my own life experience. So knowing that this is the first day that I woke up committed to do a live video to you, I thought, well, apparently it should be me and Magdalene starting this out. If I go back and tell you the story of my connection with Magdalene, I would have to start early on. I began my communication with Spirit through meditation, guided meditation. I'm now very dedicated to helping people connect beyond the physical through meditation. But the very first being of light that really came to me in such a profound way is Mary Magdalene. At this point in my life, this was over 20 years ago, and I was already doing spiritual readings and teaching meditation at that point. So seeing spirit was very common to me. But something happened on that day many years ago. I was laying on my couch, resting and kind of contemplating some things that I was struggling with. And I was not in a meditative state. My eyes were open, and I saw what is best described as a hologram of this being, this woman who looks very much like the woman that you see here. And I know that a lot of that picture, I'm sure most people see that as Mother Mary and Jesus. And I'm sure that there's a good chance that it was painted that way. I actually believe that some of the paintings that show the woman and show the baby being held are the next generation, Magdalene and her children. So to me, this image is both of Mother Mary. It holds that energy, but it also holds the Magdalene energy. I've actually started to channel Magdalene's daughter, which in interpretation is Sarah. Sometimes it comes through in different variations of that name. So to me, that I hold the intention of that picture behind me being Mary Magdalene and their daughter, Sarah. But anyway, that day on the couch, Magdalene stood in front of me, and I guess I must have sort of recognized her, but she showed me who she was. She introduced herself to me. And it was really the first time that I saw her outside of the Bible stories. Well, that isn't true, because I loved Mary Magdalene even as a teenager from Jesus Christ Superstar. I used to sit in my living room and sing to Jesus Christ Superstar and feel as if I was Mary Magdalene when I sang some of her songs. There's also a time in high school where I was in writing class instructed to write about, the instruction was about a 10-foot pole, and that was it. And whatever story you came up with about it. And I woke up in the middle of the night with a first person story about watching Jesus, the beloved, die on the cross. And it was just a pouring out of the heart. I remember I had to read it in class, and I'm a high schooler, and there was just dead silence when I got done with that. So apparently Magdalene has been a part of my life for many, many years, but it really was on that one day where she showed up and she placed her hand on my heart that day. And I think if there's anything I could offer you today on this Feast of Mary Magdalene, would be that you receive that same blessing of love. Because when she placed her hand on my heart, I felt so much love, like the deepest, most unconditional love I had ever felt, just pouring through my heart. And at that time, she said to me, I'm here with you. And the path in front of you is going to be very difficult, but you don't need to worry, because I'm going to be with you every step of the way. And with her hand on my heart and that depth of love, I really was able to not get concerned about I really didn't pay attention to the fact that she said the path in front of me was going to be difficult. What I felt was that love. She was right. And in my stories that I'm going to start sharing with you more often, I will tell you some of the things that she was referencing and how she supported me during that time. But in the meantime, let's go to how I became her voice. She began supporting me from that moment on, probably before, but I consciously began receiving her support from that moment on. And in my earlier meditation classes, I would bring forth messages from her during the classes often, and I would translate her messages. And then one day she said to me, I would like us to merge our energies so that I can speak to the people in first person. That would be what most people interpret as channeling. And I had seen Abraham-Hicks, Esther, do this with the spirit known as Abraham back in 1990. This wasn't that far ahead of this. This was probably 4 years later, maybe. But when I first saw Esther Hicks and heard her, the frequency of her voice was so freaky to me. The sound of her voice was so intense to me, even though it felt very true. I had this whole visceral body reaction of, oh my God, I never want to do that, which is a very odd thing for someone to have, because most people don't go on to do that. And I've learned now that that was my body knowing that this was my future. So if we jump back to Magdalene now, and she's asking me to let her speak through me, total vanity. That's what I went to. Like, oh no, I don't want to sound like that. And then she finally, placed her hand on my heart again and reminded me of what it felt like. And I said, oh, okay. Because in that space, there's nothing to worry about. So at the next meditation class, she spoke through me in first person. Interestingly, that I noticed over time, my voice did sound a little different when she spoke during that time. But what I came to understand is that it's not that they sound like that. It's that her frequency and my vocal cords weren't harmonized at that point, because I was still growing and I was still evolving. And if you are a follower of Abraham-Hicks and you listen to the old stuff versus the new stuff, you'll see that over time, we don't hear that shift in her vocal cords either, because she and Abraham harmonized and became one. So there was a variation when I first started speaking, and now there's just a slight difference. You can hear the different vibration, but I don't sound mechanical, which I appreciate. So that is my story of how I came to be and love Magdalene. She has been one of my best friends over these last 20 years, my go-to person, even though she's not in the physical. And I have learned so much from her. So today, in honor of her, when I said, oh, it's the Feast of Magdalene today, Zach asked me, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, I don't really know because I'm not Catholic, but it's something special. It's the day that people honor her. But I'm guessing, and if anybody wants to write in the comments, if you know more about the history of that, I'm guessing that it actually probably goes, the feast days probably go back to more ancient times and have a deeper meaning. So I would love to hear that if anybody wants to share that in the comments. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to open up and bring you a message from Magdalene. I do an opening prayer that helps me align with spirit. And you're going to hear and recognize some of the names, but basically what I'm doing is, if these are my words, my personal names and thoughts for remembering to connect with the vastness of all that is, oneness, God, Allah, whatever your word you use for that essence of intelligent frequency that we are, that connects us all and that is beyond all understanding, all the way down to the most personal physical. So you're going to hear me open up, and I'm just going to tell you this a few times on these videos until people get used to it, because I want you to know what I'm doing. Just so you understand, it's my way of acknowledging and calling in that I'll be in the vortex. So you'll hear my opening prayer, then I'll merge with Magdalene and we'll let her say whatever she wants to say on her day. So thank you. Dear God, Goddess, creator of all that is, Alpha, Omega, Enchanted One, Sola Ra, Isis and Ra, Magdalene and Yezu, two feathers, all of the ascended master beings and angelic hosts who are here with us, we give thanks. We completely surrender now into the vibration of all that is, drawing forth from this reflection those vibrations that are here to guide, support, and harmonize us in this moment, and we give thanks. I expand my attention now to include the vibration that I know as Mary of Magdalene, that she may speak through me to bring forth a message that is correct for you at this moment. My beloved ones, it is with great joy that I come to you today. It is with great joy that I feel the love for all of you. I open my heart and my mind to be with you. Feel the love as I place my hands upon your heart. There is nothing more that I want than in this moment to help you celebrate the love that is with you and for you and available to you in every moment. I understand that there is a time that is happening right now in which people feel that their words are being twisted, that their thoughts are being unheard, not understood. They are looking around this world. Perhaps you are looking around this world and you are saying, where has the truth gone? What is this world that I see? And I speak to you from my heart, because there was a time that I felt this. There was a time just after, and I would say even before my beloved ascended into the divine, that I looked around the world and my heart sometimes broke when I saw the people in power who were afraid of the power of authenticity. The power of authenticity is within you. Autonomy is within you. And this is the power that those who hold a surface, manipulative, unintegrated level of power, fear-based power that is not coming from source energy, but from a disconnected, unintegrated mind, that the resources are held and fear is projected in order to express a power that keeps people from remembering. That is not the power. And I am not saying that there are not leaders, that there are not divine leaders, people in places that you would call power, who are authentic and whose intent is for autonomy. But you can hear the difference. We know that when the collective comes together, it is difficult for the individuality to remain. This concept has been explored by philosophers and spiritualists for many, many generations. For what is truly oneness and individuality in the same moment? Even the scientists are working to define this. But when we bring this understanding to the collective, we see that we in ourselves can choose freedom, authenticity, and autonomy in each moment, while at the same time affecting the collective. When that happens, those who are in power, the leaders who lead us, will not be leading in a suppressive, hurtful way. There will be no us and them. It will be, I am in front. I am the one that is showing the way. It will be more like the geese. We should always look towards nature. If you see the geese when they fly south or north, you will see the triangular formation. But that one that is the leader is actually helping the air current and working the hardest in many ways, creating a flow of air currency that allows the others in formation to assert themselves less, to glide in that path, to ease. So often the stronger ones are in the front. But in order to maintain that strength, you will see that they rotate and they take turns. Another one will go to the front. And the one who has pushed the way through will rest in the stream of the other leader. This is what true leadership is about. This is what we are speaking to now. And we ask that when you look at the world around you, you understand that you are the collective. And that when you find your strength, your inner knowing, your autonomy, because you feel the faith with the divine, whatever that is called, and you know the truth within you, then you do not have to worry about whether news is true or false, whether what you are being told is true or false, because in most times, everything that is spoken in the human frequency is navigating a multi-level understanding of what truth is. Even in this reference that Sheila has made earlier about Yesu, or Jesus Christ Superstar, there is a line of that she holds true to herself over the years too and remembers, and that is, what is truth? Is your truth the same as mine? Because truth is truth. It cannot be anything less than truth. But interpretation, understanding, and reflection of truth does change when we move into the frequency of humanity, of the physicality, because in that frequency, we are different than the others. We are seeing our separateness. When we move up into the space of oneness, we see the collective. We do not have to communicate from separateness. We have a knowing between each other. And in that space, we have a knowing for truth. When we allow ourselves to navigate the human frequency while holding our frequency also in those higher levels of remembrance, then we begin to see truth as what it means to us. And we are not frightened by the things that people say. We are not feeding off of them. We are simply navigating through them with deeper understanding. I wish also to speak of something that is being seen through Sheila's eyes very much now in this time in central New York where she is. It is a beautiful time to be in her area, and there are flowers called daylilies that often, especially in the countrysides, line the sides of the road. They're in many gardens as filler in places where big spaces must be easily brightened up. And these flowers are orange and vibrant. And when you look at them, you see this beautiful, beautiful, vast orange flower lilies. And you pass them each day and you see them and you assume that those are the same flowers you saw yesterday, but they are daylilies. Each one of those flowers dies every night and a new one blooms. And a new one blooms, and this goes on for many times. So it is the collective energy that allows the individual to flourish and to move through their own cycles, but it is the wholeness that continues. And as you move through this space, know the truth, know the understanding, know that we are here. We are the collective and the individual, and we are here with you in every moment. And so it is. And as I allow my energy to pull back and Sheila's to come forth, we nod that she actually did make sure that she had checked the phone to know that it would not ring during this time. And yet there it is. So this is live, and we are working together to bring your messages live. I give thanks to Magdalene for the messages that she brought through. I give thanks for the opportunity for us to bring and to show you. And even as she spoke about the phone, as we were coming more into my attention and less into hers, I wanted to smile because this is what I want for all of you. I want each one of you to gently and easily be able to navigate the frequencies of life so that you can see truth in every one of those forms, and that it will be perfect for all of us. Thank you all for coming live. Thank you, Eva and Pam, for your little notes here. And I'm hoping that many more of you see this in the future, and I hope to continue with this format. So have a beautiful Feast of Mary Magdalene.